This is Sectors Up Close, and we're talking about cybersecurity. America's most critical infrastructure is under siege. Cyber attacks are escalating, and AI is helping hackers strike faster, smarter, and at scale. Nearly 1 in 4 cybersecurity leaders say that they faced AI-powered attacks in the past year, and the global cost is expected to hit $10.5 trillion. A crushing burden or a massive investment opportunity? Peter Andersen is the founder of Andersen Capital Management. So Peter, it's clear we're in the early stages of an AI arms race. The attackers have moved first, but do they have the edge?
Well, your opening intro about is it a crushing burden or an investment opportunity, I have to say, I think it's both. We certainly can talk about the investment opportunity, but let me just tell you something that stunned me, frankly, about the advancement of AI. You know, a lot of people are not aware of this, but I follow physics experiments very closely, and they have discovered that if they tell AI to put in a random number of all their instrumentations and ask AI what is the best way to assemble this configuration of measurement equipment to conduct an experiment, AI produces a fascinating result that no human had thought of before. In other words, it's incredibly innovative with the existing components and beats humans. So take that one step further and say, what happens when the bad actors get a hold of that idea? And that is the crushing burden, frankly, is that they will be much smarter and be able to hack in very creative ways, and there is the massive threat.
Well, there is growing talk of an AI bubble, but could the need to defend against AI-enabled threats justify the billions being invested?
I think it is absolutely. You know, I'm not a big fan of just AI in general, using it for social media, for instance, but in this application, this is a never-ending arms race. So if you're looking at cybersecurity stocks, I would say this is a very opportunistic time to consider adding them to your portfolio, in our opinion, because we think that this arms race is just beginning. And you know, there are equally as many smart people, sadly, on the negative side as there are on the positive side. So therein lies your investment opportunity that I was referring to at the opening of this.
But within those cybersecurity stocks, they have provided often ineffective solutions. Will the sector continue to thrive even if they fail to provide real protection?
I think that it is an ongoing development. You know, what is happening is the cybersecurity protection of even a year ago is extremely different from an updated version of today. So there will always be holes in the castle wall, and there will always be professionals to plug those holes. And as I said, it's an arms race where maybe the bad actors will be ahead in a moment, but we owe it to ourselves and to the integrity of these companies to always pursue the best you can in cybersecurity.
Meanwhile, US funding for vital security organization was temporarily threatened in March. Shouldn't the sector become a critical national infrastructure investment?
I think it is on its way to, because when you look at all the threats out there and all the vulnerabilities, certainly government agencies are at the top of the list. So we're talking bad actors, perhaps just civilians, but we're also implying that there are bad actors across political institutions. And so equally as important are the political institutions, or the governmental institutions, as there are the individual enterprises, for instance.
Adding to that as well, the US and China are in a race to achieve superiority in AI. Will geopolitical tensions add to the security sector?
Absolutely. There will probably be espionage involved, defects of scientists that decide to go over to crossing boundaries, etc. So there is a lot of intrigue that we're probably not even aware of yet, because I think this all is in the early beginnings of this as we play out, but I don't see an end to it in the next several years. In fact, I would say the only way this could be defeated would be the introduction of something called quantum computing, but that is at least, in my opinion, 10 Nobel Prizes away.
So finally, Peter, Bitcoin is seen as a facilitator of cybercrime, yet US policy is leaning toward deregulation. So is cybercrime not a permanent fixture, and who's footing the bill?
That adds to this entire thing, if I could put my investment hat on, just talking about the stock selection. All these things we've discussed. What does it do? It implies a tremendous opportunity to bull up, so to speak, on your cybersecurity exposure, because all of these things, including the Bitcoin situation, just is a wide, almost a present to an investor. And I hate to say that in somewhat of a controversial way, because of course nobody endorses cyber hacking, but that it exists, we have to accept that, and then we say to ourselves, what are the investment opportunities? So investing is an incredible field, because with every negative there is a positive, and this is an excellent example of that.
That was Peter Andersen from Andersen Capital Management.